This is a fun one. It's called Leader Ladder, and it's about the levels of leadership as you grow as a leader. This is adapted and borrowed from Maxwell Book 5 Levels of Leadership. Just changed some of the words, made it hyperglyph. Leader Ladder begins at the bottom rung when you're a brand new leader, and the first level is role. People follow you because you have the role. Let me use again a pastoral example. You are the new pastor, and so people give a certain amount and grant a certain amount of authority because you're the pastor. On the very first day, they assume things, and you can lead them to some degree, small degree, but just because of the role. Second level, once you move past the role, is relationship. People see you as their leader because they know you, and they have a relationship with you. And that builds trust. The more trust and personal relationship you have with people, the more they're willing to follow you as a leader because they know you're in it for their best interest. The relationship's important. If you only have a role and you never get to know people, they don't know you, it's hard to maintain a leadership position. As we move up the third rung, and they all build upon one another. You don't lose one to gain the other. The third one is results. It's good to have relationships with people, but if at some point there are no observable results, you're leading, but it's not accomplishing anything, it's not doing any good, there's no measurable good happening from your leadership, you can't move up past this. The results level is where people see your leadership is making a difference, things are happening, there is credibility that's gained because of those results, leading at a different level. Number 4 is reinvestment. After they have seen you in the role, that there's some sort of personal relationship, if possible, they see results, there's an effectiveness, there's credibility gained, then all of a sudden you can take that credibility, the results, and reinvest it into the people who are following you or working with you or on your team. So you give credit to somebody who did something, even though you could have taken the credit for yourself or you could have indirectly pointed it to yourself, you reinvest that credit to somebody else, and that builds the relationship and it builds them as well. You take some of the knowledge you've gained and you share it with them, and you mentor someone. You are quick to take some of the success and celebrate it around and share it around. This reinvestment is the next level. And then finally, this is not as common because a lot of people don't reach this level, but it's where you lead and your reputation precedes you. In fact, your reputation does a bulk of the work for you. So think in terms of the name Billy Graham. You may not know Billy Graham personally. You may not have had a relationship with him, even when he didn't have an official role or title. His reputation was so powerful that he was able to lead and give and make a difference and serve at this high level. So, the beginning, role, develop the relationship, move to results. People can see something is happening. There's this leading is being effective. And then reinvestment, you give credibility, encouragement, wisdom, some of the celebration back. And then eventually, if you ever reach this level, of where your reputation precedes you and does a lot of the work. One of the key insights on this leader ladder is to recognize where you are. We mostly start here when we're new in a role, and then to keep moving upward, to not get comfortable and say, I'm just going to bank on my role and just let that be my lead. I want to keep moving to relationships, keep building those, keep moving to results, constantly continue to work. This isn't about climbing the ladder corporately. It's not about getting ahead. It's not about being above people. It's not about succeeding in monetary or power dynamics or anything like that. This is about just climbing the ladder of leadership. And remember, this is so key. Jesus said to be a leader is to serve. In fact, we could flip this whole thing upside down, because the higher you get as a leader, it really means the lower you are as a servant. You're the servant of all. Jesus himself said, I didn't come to be honored and to be put on a pedestal. I could be, but I came to serve. And he in fact, his reputation was such that he was the servant of all, and he reinvested what he had into other people. Another key insight to maintain is that you might be at one level with a certain group of people and at a different level with a new person, and to be able to navigate differently in those groups is also important. You may have a ton of credibility with one person or one group and very little with somebody else, so the ladder continues to move up. Leader ladder.